Our software is the easiest to use and most powerful document assembly tool in the world. We'll spend a few minutes showing you why. Creating an intelligent form takes 2 steps. First, I'll add a questionnaire to the bottom of the form. This is where I ask questions of the form user. Here I'm going to ask for the name of the seller and the name of the buyer. After finishing the questionnaire, it'll look something like this. Step 2 is to add fields into your form. Here I would like the seller's name to appear, so I'll click Field, choose the seller name answer, and insert a field. And here I'd like the buyer's name to appear. Field, buyer name. After adding all the fields, your form will look something like this. All a user needs to do to use the form is open it up, click the Start button to move the cursor to the questionnaire, and answer the questions. Here I'll use John Smith. John is a he. Jane Doe is a she. We'll go with a price of $21.23 and a date of purchase 11/17. With the questions answered, I click the Fill button. The answers are moved up into the form where they belong and formatted properly. Notice that the date has been formatted one way here and another way down here. Also, the dollar amount has been spelled out in words here and in numerals here. All of my pronouns are correct throughout the document. He and his for John, she and her for Jane. If circumstances change, I can always return to the questionnaire, make any necessary edits. Here I'm changing the spelling of Jane, and refill the document. All the information throughout the form is updated with my new answer. Once I'm ready to send this document out of the office, I'll probably want to petrify it by clicking the Petrify button. When I click yes there, the questionnaire is removed and all of the fields are converted to plain text and metadata is scrubbed from the document as well. These same 2 steps are used to build even the most interesting and complex forms. Let's look at some of those. This intelligent form includes conditions that alter the finished document depending on the circumstances. I've entered a price, a tax rate, and how much money I have in my pocket. Given these 3 responses, when I click the Fill button, the form automatically performs the calculations faster and more accurately than I could ever do myself. Most of us have some difficulty calculating date offsets. Here, given a trial date, I need to determine the day 20 business days before that date, and then, even worse, I need to come up with the Friday which precedes that second date. Here, the form handles all of those details for me. I just click Fill, and everything is answered. In this form, the top section asks some questions about the corporation or LLC, and note here that we get to choose either corporation or LLC. If I choose corporation and fill in the document, then the finished product is filled with words specific to that choice: corporation, shareholders, directors, again, corporation, corporation. The whole form has conformed itself to my choice. If I choose LLC instead and fill in the form, now all of those words have changed to reflect the fact that it's an LLC. Members, limited liability company, managers, and so forth throughout the form. The bottom part of this questionnaire packs a lot of information into a small space. Here I have the names of the parties. Here is the number of shares each owns. This identifies the 3 of them that are directors or managers. And here, 3 different people are identified as the officers of the corporation. After filling in the form, that information is parceled out in several different ways. Here, the names are listed in one format. Here, several of them are pulled out just to list the officers. Here again, I have the names used in another way, and again down below. The names are entered once but used several different times. And here, some math has been performed to calculate a percentage. And here, a condition has been evaluated based on that math calculation to include this paragraph. Sometimes it's just as important to make the appearance of a document change as it is to make the content change. In this form, in addition to filling in a couple of answers, I'm also choosing an appearance. I'll choose Acme first. When I fill in the document, I get this big, bold Acme format. Looks very striking. But perhaps I want the same content to look a different way in a different circumstance. Here I'll choose the Posh format, and when I click the Fill button, the appearance of the document changes entirely. It's still the same text, but I'm controlling all of the formatting. The appearance is controlled entirely by you. You can set up as many different appearances as you like and apply them wherever needed. Sharing and reusing answers is critical to saving time and reducing errors. Here I'm going to load in some answers that I saved from a previous form, saving me all that typing and reducing errors so that when I fill in the document, I get a finished product in just seconds. Sometimes you don't need to use a whole form, you just need to grab a particular bit of information that you've saved previously. Docsera lets you organize that information into libraries or folios so that when you need it, you can click the Fetch button, choose the area you're looking for, and either select the passages you want directly or locate the passages by filtering according to subject matter, or even do it by doing full text searches. Here I've located a passage that contains the information I want. I select it and click Fetch to insert it into my document. Here I have a lengthy representation letter, which is driven mostly by the answer to this first question, which asks me what is the practice area. I choose one of the practice areas available, and up here in the body of the form, I have a slot where I want to insert biographies of the attorneys related to that practice area, here under the Expertise heading. I click the Fill button, and in addition to the hundreds of other changes made throughout this document, the attorneys who practice in this practice area have been fetched and inserted where needed, complete with graphics. This form goes even further, bringing in all sorts of built-in intelligence. It starts out as just a one-page document, but the questions asked for a doctor name, a hospital name, an illness, and a treatment, and when I click the Fill button, the form reaches out and pulls in all sorts of information from external sources. I've color-coded it here so you can see which information has been brought in. It's bringing in a description of the selected hospital, a biography of the selected doctor, a description of the ailment and the treatment, and right here, it has even gone out to our collection of medical authority and brought in any authority that relates that particular treatment to that particular illness. Finally, Docsera allows me to process whole batches of forms at once. Here I have 4 different forms, which I'm going to fill in simultaneously. A master questionnaire is built, which includes all the questions necessary to fill in all 4 of those forms. I'm going to save a little time here by loading in some answers that I typed previously. There's my answers. And when I click the Fill button, I can choose to automatically save and name each of the finished documents in a folder that I choose. I click OK, and each one of those 4 separate forms is processed using the one set of answers and saved in the target folder. Here I have some bylaws that include all of the signers, and here I have certificates of ownership with a certificate for each one of those signers. Every one of these finished documents and everything we've created is an ordinary Word document. You're free to revise and modify these as you wish, and when you send them out, they'll be indistinguishable from something you created from scratch. The TheFormTool Pro and Docsera really are the easiest to use and most powerful document assembly software in the world. Download one now and you can create your first intelligent form within the hour. We guarantee it.